Hello, you guys, and welcome to this new episode of Relatable. My name is Gabriella Tomassetti, and I'm so excited for this episode because I have such an important person in my life as a guest today. Her name is Nichole Pineda. Hello, Nicole.
Hello.
Well, you're a married woman now, so
I am a married woman
yeah.
now.
So, what's your last name?
No, I'm still Pineda. I'm still
Okay.
Pineda. I'm sticking to my last name for
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm so excited because she's one of my best friends. And I was telling her, like, in every episode that I do, I kind of try to find, like, a theme, how I can relate it to the person. And I feel like the channel, like, needs some fun.
Yes.
And something that we always talk about or we always mention is, like, I don't know why, because this doesn't happen to me with anyone else. But whenever I think of Nicky.
I'm already doing it.
Whenever I think of Nicky.
Qué pena. Soy un payaso.
I'm not. no, because you think of me and the same thing happens.
No,
We're just two
literally.
clowns.
Yes.
Oh my
That's
god.
true.
We just laugh. Like, and we don't live in the same city anymore. So it's like whenever I just think of her and I just feel so much joy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm wearing orange because I was like, I need to wear bright because Nicky to me is brightness and joy.
Ay, tan bella. Thank you. Likewise, you to me.
Thank you.
You're super special. You're super special. I've known her for years now. I try to think back how long we've known each other, and I
Yeah.
can't even remember, honestly. But yeah, you've always just been so special to me since the beginning, and I think our friendship grew out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very special for me in my heart.
I know.
And yes, we laugh a lot
Same.
together. So
Demasiado.
I love
Like,
Yeah.
we laugh more than we talk.
it. Every subject
Yeah.
is a laugh.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk more about that, about friendships and everything, explore that topic. But the first question I always ask my guests is to tell me more about your childhood. Like, how were you as a kid?
Wow.
More about you, just you and your childhood.
Wow. So me as a child, I was so hyper.
Okay.
I took like a big change. I'm not sure in what moment either, but I used to be so hyper. I used to make my parents and my sister and my family sit down and watch me perform for them. I've always
my
been that type
God.
of person. My mom says that I would like lock myself in her room in front of her mirror and just sing and dance and like come out
Drenched.
sweating. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Drenched in sweat because I've always loved
Performing.
anything that has to do with performing. So I think I was a very funny child. I've always been that person that,
Putting on a show.
Yes.
Aww.
And yeah, my childhood, while I grew up with my sisters, my mom, my parents are separated since I was 1 year old. But yeah, that's the type of little girl that I was.
And do you remember like your first, because, okay, she is honestly, I'm not saying it because you're next to me, but you're like one of the most amazing singers that I've ever met. And yeah, do you remember kind of like your first experience with music or singing or like that first memory you have of just like of you and music?
So I do recall, and this is something actually that as my sister and my mom reminded me, I was like, wow, I do remember this. I could be knocked out in the car, like
Gone.
muerta, gone.
Yeah.
Pero me ponían Carlos Vives. O me ponían Thalía, or me ponían something, and I would just like out of this trance, like, disque huepa, and be like super happy and super into it. And I do recall that. And I think what I'm telling you, that I would be in the bedroom and sing and dance. My mom was the one that kind of started seeing that flourish in me. And so
Yeah.
she started, pushing me like,
In
hey, do you
classes and
think you would
things.
want to
Okay.
sing? And I'm like, what? And yeah, and I would go to auditions and I would, get through. And that's how I started kind of discovering that I was maybe better than I
Yeah.
thought.
That you could like actually do something with
exactly.
it. Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I remember, just in my bedroom, singing, dancing. And yeah.
And because we met in CB Music Lab.
Yes. Shout out to CB Music Lab.
Shout out to CB Music Lab. We met there and it's like a teen cover band.
Yes.
Right? when you were a part of the group, did you ever feel like nervous to sing in front of like the others in the group, or did you have that kind of, how you're saying, when you were little, that you just wanted to put a show, like you didn't really care about it?
I think the first time I went, which you guys were already kind of integrated or starting to integrate, that I came about and, you know, got to CB Music Lab. I think the first time I sang a Taylor Swift song, which if you know me now, I do not sing Taylor Swift.
And you'll never catch me. This is no shade to Taylor. No, it's just when you know Nicky.
I respect her as a woman, as what she does, but you will never catch me singing Taylor Swift. So that was the first song I sang there. And after that first performance that we did, I was probably nervous for a second, but when I got on that stage, I was like, it's gone.
Yeah.
Como que te transformas. I don't know. You transform into something else, and I would say
it's like you channel, like, es como te escapas, and like something takes over, and it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay, so like I said, I really want this topic to be about friendship and everything, but before we get into that, I kind of just want to, since we're in the music topic, do you have any plans to release music? Like, how do you still feel about music?
Yeah, so music for me is always going to be something special. It's like sacred. It's something that even if I try to escape it, I cannot.
You can't.
Because I just can't. So honestly, what I've gone to now is maybe learning songs on the guitar, and I'll post little covers here and there on Instagram or like on my stories. And when I start like getting that feedback, it's like when that little flame like lights up, that I'm like, oh my God, like, am I really like not gonna do anything?
Yeah.
But to be completely honest, one of my past relationships was with a musician, and I did get to experience a little bit of what that world
is
entails.
like.
Is that how you say it? Like what it brings, what you need to put out there. And I think in that moment of life where I was at, I thought maybe it wasn't something that I should be pursuing. Okay. I just didn't see it in my bigger picture, to say. Yeah. But now as I continue to live my life, I definitely feel like I want to put out there that I want to do something with music. Yeah. Like I want to start manifesting that. And I don't know, maybe I'll just randomly put out a little something on Spotify.
You have
with
to.
Like no pressure. I think my
I will be pressuring you. Don't worry, I will be pressuring you
with no pressure, because I feel like before I didn't really do anything because I had so much pressure. It was like, do I sing in Spanish or do I sing in English?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, Nichole, you sing in both. Like, you don't have to pick sides. Like, do I sing? Because I really liked rock at one point.
I know.
So it's like,
you have the red hair to prove it. It was the most amazing red hair I've ever seen. And then I became a redhead. I think those were lingering effects. Music lab, maybe.
Yes. It was the Dr. Martens. It was the whole thing. So it was like, is it rock? Is it no? But now I like more like this kind of music. So it was like always putting myself in this box that it didn't let me advance in like the music scene per se. But I think I could start maybe letting go a little bit and just whatever feels right to me at the moment, let that out. And if 3 years later I'm like, Dios, why? Whatever.
You live life.
Yeah, and I'm just going to let it roll.
Yeah.
Pero sin expectativas. I think that's the biggest mistake that we had maybe before, being surrounded by so many musicians, people that were making it. Yeah. And then you're there like, like, do I go for it?
But I think also the generation, like the time we were in, that was kind of that was the way to be an artist, though. You know, like we grew up like watching Demi Lovato and Miley Cyrus, and you just see the work ethic, and it was like that. Like it had to be like that.
Yeah.
But I relate to you because now that I've been open to music again, because I took like the 3 years off, I totally get you, because I'm like, you know what? I genuinely haven't seen myself in a stadium, maybe the way that I used to when I was younger. And now I'm like, no, if I'm gonna do music, it's literally for the fun of it, for the love of it, for just enjoying creating it. And if the most I want to do is just release it on Spotify and call it a day and have people hear it and enjoy it, that's totally okay. Like now there's just so much flexibility and just tailoring it to you so that not just tailoring it to you so that it works for you, but also to always keep in mind, like, no, I'm doing this because I want to enjoy it.
Exactly.
For you.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
For me. If I release something, it's for me.
Yeah.
And if someone likes it,
yeah,
I would be so happy.
Yeah.
But I think I can also feel as when you have released stuff, I think when you have a friend or that bond that you see them doing things that they literally enjoy, how can you not put that song on your playlist?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? How can you not jam to that song? Que se siente that you did it with that love and, you know? So that's what I feel like it would be special. Like, it's for me, and if anything, for me, my partner and my friends and my family, if they like it, that's enough for me. Like, no more pressure. Because like everyone that I like and everyone is like at this tippity top of fame, like that I don't want to reach. Why does that have to stop me from doing something that I feel is a gift that was given to me by God, and I just have to figure out what he wants me to do with this specific gift.
And also, like, relating what you just said to, oh, well, I don't know if I should sing in Spanish and English, because I think if you're an artist in Miami, everyone has dealt with that, you know? But
they've gone through all the
the themes. But it's what we're saying. Like, when you do your craft and you put you into it, every person is a whole world. You know, you're not just black and white. Like, no, you have all these colors to you. You speak Spanish, you speak English, you have these interests and whatever. And when you start putting that in your art, it's like, it's always going to be cohesive because it's you.
Wow.
You know?
That's so pretty.
No,
that's
but
a nice way to put it. But
I would relate that to, like, when I started noticing that when I was doing music, and I was raised to listen to so many different genres and everything. So then I would be in the studio and I'm like, okay, well, this song is more pop and this one has a little bit more R&B. And at that time, it was so like, you have to stick to one thing.
Exactly.
And that it has that pressure.
Messy.
Yes. Because it's
so
not,
because
we're not just one thing.
Exactly.
And so, but then I was like, you know what? As long as I'm me in everything, it's always going to make sense. So we just have to be authentic in everything we do, and it's always va a tener ese sello. It's gonna have that mark.
Wow. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because I do recall I even started like working on music with your brother, and he would say like, okay, bring me reference songs to like start working. And when I would like really get down to my references, I was like, this is all over the place. Like I'm giving him like some R&B, I'm giving him a little bossa nova, I'm giving him a little bit this, I'm giving him Spanish. And I felt so messy in like my craft that I was like, no, like let's leave it here. But then what you're saying, I started realizing like, but each of these things are me somehow, because it's something that brings me joy and inspiration. So why not flow with that? But yeah, it's definitely being more open to just being more free.
I think it's being authentic and having the courage to put that authenticity out there. Because if we're all trying to be that same artist, then we're just copies and copies and copies.
Exactly.
And the beauty of life is for everyone to be the way God designed you to be, you know?
Yeah.
So es como que every person has their print. They're like, you know how our fingerprints are unique? It's like that. Like, our craft should be just as unique as our fingerprints.
Yeah.
Wow, that was very nice.
That was very beautiful. You are a fingerprint.
Your craft should also be as unique as your. I love that. You should put that on a hoodie. Just a big
merch.
A big fingerprint. You're doing great, sweetie. Oh my god, that's awesome. That's cool. Like this on your hoodie. Your craft should be as unique as your fingerprint.
Wow.
And in the back, you're doing great, sweetie.
Mira.
I love it.
I
Oh my
love
God. The creativity never stops.
Exactly.
Okay, but relating it back to when we were in music lab. Because again,
Yes.
let's talk about how we became friends. So I'll tell you my experience, like my point of view, and then
Please.
you tell me what you remember.
Yes.
Because I think you can agree, the level of friendship we have now kind of just happened out of nowhere.
No.
Right?
Literally out of nowhere.
Yeah. So when I was in music lab, I was, first of all, yo estaba pataleando because my mom forced me because I was just so
Which
shy.
I didn't know this, by the way.
Yeah.
I found this out years later.
So the thing is, I was very shy. It wasn't because of music lab. Music lab was great.
Yeah.
But when my mom like tells me, you're going to this, I was like mortified. I was like, all these kids that I don't know. I was the one that was singing around the house. My brother had recently started picking up the guitar. So my mom was like, okay, fine. You don't have to go, but come with us because your brother's going to start. So we go, and I knew Saudi and Santi were there. Remember? And so I was like, okay, well, I'll join. But the entire time, I was just like, I was so shy. And even though, like,
But so shy.
oh my God.
But like shy on 100.
Yeah. On 1,000.
On a full blast.
I remember the first time Cristina made me sing. Oh, first of all, I
wasn't
sang.
there.
Oh, you weren't?
I don't think so.
For the first like show?
Oh,
Something?
sí.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I remember when I was singing. First of all, I was terrible.
No.
Not only was I terrible. No, yeah, I was. But the mic was all the way up and you still couldn't hear me. Like, I remember that was something Cristina was telling me. She's like, I don't hear you. And that was because I'm mortified. But, and I was there for 3 years.
Wow.
And even, yeah, I was there for 3 years. And even though, like, in the whole time we were never close, but I always felt like you have, like, this presence that's, like, you just feel, you make people feel welcome, you know? Even if the bond isn't, like, you know, super close or anything, it's just, I always related that to you, like, oh, like, I like her. Like, yeah, we're not, like, close or anything, but
there's something
welcome.
there.
Yeah, like, I didn't
Agree.
feel like judgment or anything because I was really shy. And if anything, you were always, like, encouraging us. Like, no, you can do it and whatever. And, like, you're always helping us to try. To try to be better out there. You're like, please, you're gonna make me look bad.
We're in this song together, girl.
You're like, I have to do chorus for you. Yeah. Background vocals.
Girl, I
like,
can't be in the back and you're not put 100.
So this is the way. Oh, and then I feel like, so I left music lab, and then I feel like I didn't really get to even see you until we bumped into that event. Do you remember? I just remember
Was
that.
that the last, like, that was the next time we saw each other?
I think so. I think so. I mean, my memory's terrible, but I feel like I jumped from there to there.
Yeah.
And then there, because again, we weren't super close, but when I saw you and so many years had passed or whatever time had passed, I immediately felt that warmth again. And I was like, wow, like, yeah, we were never close or whatever, but I immediately just felt safe. Yeah, safe and like comfortable.
Yeah.
And like un cariño. And I was
Yes,
like, that's
big
so
cariño.
sweet. Yeah.
Big cariño.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt that towards you. Yes, you were very, very shy.
Yeah. Yes.
But
very
I felt like that. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe people would say it's like a nurturing feeling,
Okay, could be.
but maybe it could be. And, you know, you see como the talent in that person and you want them to bring it out.
Yeah, like get out of their shell.
Yeah. So now I see her and it's like,
The complete opposite. The complete
And I'm just like,
opposite.
what?
Yeah.
It's crazy for me.
I know.
But I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you.
The way that I relate it, because you know that I like love astrology and stuff.
So what this means
is well, in that world, right?
Yes.
If we're relating it to that world
Okay.
and my signs, I'm so, by the way, this is so random, but I'm so sure you have Leo somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, 1,000%.
That's interesting.
We're going to have to look that up.
That's interesting.
But I'm Virgo and my rising is Sagittarius.
I don't know my race.
We'll do that
find
after.
out. Okay.
Yeah. So I always people don't believe, like my mom, she's like, you were shy. I was like, yes, I was shy growing up. Okay. And I have the proof here. But that is very Virgo. Virgo's very, very shy. But
Okay.
Sagittarius is literally the complete opposite. Like the
Okay.
complete opposite. And I feel the older I get, the more I stop giving a you know? That's the thing. As a little kid, I cared too much
Yes.
about everyone, their
Yes.
opinion, this like reaching a level of perfectionism and stuff that was like not real, you know?
Yeah.
And so just the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't care. I cared my
Let
whole like
loose.
childhood. Now I'm like, I don't care. This is who I am.
Yes.
Yeah. But so that's a little bit on how we met.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want to ask you, what are things that you consider, like, when you think of a good friend, what do you think are like qualities of someone that would make them a good friend?
Wow, that's such a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think first a good listener.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like sometimes we're always ready to talk.
Yeah.
But when do we really like ask someone how they're doing and let them talk it out and really like talk and listen?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have definitely that quality where she can listen to me even if I'm ranting or even if I'm just laughing for an hour. But I think definitely a good listener. I think I would say, loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Loyal through all the times, because I feel like you have friendships that come and go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think someone that's not necessarily persistent, but that always kind of checks up on you
Consistent.
here and time. Yeah, from here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. Because obviously there is friendships that they come for some time and they gotta go for whatever reason. But it's always good to be present
Mm-hmm.
and just check up on people, because you really don't know what people are going through.
Yeah.
And I feel like we live in a time where we're always showing the best of ourselves, maybe 24/7.
Yeah. Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah. Social media.
But you don't know.
You never know.
So I think, so let's go back. So I would say good listener, loyal, consistent,
Mm-hmm.
and funny.
Yeah. Good sense of humor.
Yeah, I need someone that's funny.
Yeah. Someone that, because the funny, I
Tan
feel like,
dramática.
yeah. So I was going to say, like, the
Yeah.
funny is not just, it's out of just being a lighthearted person.
Yes.
Because when there's so much drama and so
Yes.
much, it's so unnecessary.
Yes.
And it's like, I already have stuff in my life. I don't need
more.
more.
Yes, I agree.
But this question I want to tie in with this other one, which is, how important is it to have friends that are like-minded?
Okay.
Or is it also good to be surrounded by people that, I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be with someone that's completely
Completely
not exactly, but being surrounded by friends that maybe are a little different or have different perspectives on things. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there are people that just like, no, I want to be with people that are just like me.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think I used to be like that a little bit.
Okay.
I did catch myself on that. They had to be like in my same area and like the same things, because if not, I couldn't find maybe similarities with them.
Okay.
But I think once I broke that off, I also started learning more about life, about myself, because this other person is starting to introduce things that you're not used to per se. I am not, or have never, or was not a person that would do affirmations. This little lady over here taught me about, I mean, I had heard about it, just how you hear about, no sé, a restaurant, lo que sea.
The news.
Yeah, the news. like us, giving the news. But when you listen and you really see the change that it could do in another person, you're like, like, let me try these things. Let me see how this can come into my life, because maybe it's not something that I, como que maybe it's not something that I don't know how to say it. Like that
I've
it was
been used to, or
exactly, or had even been taught.
Yeah.
It was more like, if you're uncertain, like, go straight to your faith.
Yeah.
Or go straight to reading something positive, or go like, pero que tenga que ver con la Biblia, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
but that you can like
more religious.
Right. But if you could grab kind of that tool
Mm-hmm.
and focus it a little more on yourself, that what affirmations is literally like to yourself.
Yeah.
That was a big change for me. And I still incorporate it because I'm still not 100% where I would like to be. So that's like an example of what I could say is how nice it is to be with someone. Not that you're like different minded than me, but you have other little tools that I
maybe haven't been exposed to.
Correct.
Okay. And now that we're talking about affirmation, do you feel a change ever since you've been doing affirmations?
I feel like I've done, again, like I'm starting to maybe, I don't think I could ever be exactly like who I was when I was a little girl.
Absolutely you can.
You think I can?
Oh, 1,000%.
Okay.
You just need to stop caring.
Yes. Exactamente. So I feel like affirmations have guided me to becoming that girl or that little girl that was so careless and like so, you know, like just so happy, como que vivía de, like the happiness and didn't really care about other things that really are not necessary to care about because your life just goes away worrying. So yeah, I think I have noticed, and I'm still in the process of getting even better, I think.
Yeah. Can I ask, this is more personal now, but is there some, like, what is it that you feel is stopping you from being that little girl again?
Wow, that's a good question. I think my mind has built like this almost dependency on feeling uncertain or like this fear of like the unknown, because there's nothing that I can pinpoint in my mind. Like, why am I so scared of like putting myself out there? Like, why am I so scared of this? I don't have anything particular that happened to me that made me feel this way. I haven't, you know, because sometimes people develop this feeling maybe out of a rejection or a bad experience, but I don't feel like it's my case. I just think somewhere in time I started developing maybe this fear. Maybe when I was gonna really pursue music, I think it started. Maybe
did you feel like, okay, now it's in my hands and I don't know what to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't know what was gonna happen, so I just started like
you need to trust
growing
yourself.
this fear, and you feed into it, so it becomes bigger.
I'm sorry, but I'm getting like this message that your I don't want to say challenge, but what you need to work on is like it's trusting yourself, because I keep hearing like the little girl inside of you is like kicking and screaming to be let out. That's what I feel.
I bet she is.
Yeah.
She's with that microphone like, girl, I just want to. And it doesn't have to be music necessarily, but it's just the personality that I was when I was little is so different. And even when you talk to my friends that know me back in, they're like, girl, like what the happened? Fact that you're even married to us is like.
Because they're like,
because I was so crazy. Like, yo era muy loca. I was too crazy. I didn't give my parents that much of a headache, pero yo era loca, like literal loquita, and very curious, and then I just started kind of like chilling out. But then I got too chill.
Okay,
I mean, I got
too chill, too ice cold.
Literally. That I was just like, Nichole, this ain't you, girl.
You got so chill, you were frozen.
Literally, I froze.
She froze.
No, pero literally, I froze.
No, literally.
In every aspect of my life, I froze. And I was like, this is not.
This girl's too chill.
This girl ain't for me. And I did start feeling like that little kick inside of me.
Yeah.
I think even like spiritually speaking, I think even God was like, girl, I'm tired of you.
We need to defrost the situation.
We need to. And I started feeling that spark again. And I even told you, I don't know if you remember, when you asked me if I wanted to be in your podcast, I told her, you would have asked me last year.
Yeah.
I would have told you no. But one of like my goals is to start putting myself out there in every aspect. I'm truly, and I prepare you if you know me, I'm truly not going to care anymore. So you're going to start seeing my face.
Period.
Y demasiado. You're going to start hearing my voice on your car.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm promoting my face to the whole world.
We're laughing. But that's actually what you need to be doing.
But okay,
100%.
Okay, that's a great example.
Yeah.
I do real estate now. I work with investment. I have to talk to people. You know, me
Yeah.
puedo hacer like, you know, like leave me over here, please. Leave me behind the scenes. I can't.
No.
And you would have told me, put your face on your car. I would have said, hell no. Que cursi, como que pena, or whatever.
No. That's literally what you need to be doing.
I bought 2.
Okay.
And they're on each side.
You're not escaping me. Oh, you swerve to the left? Hello. You swerve to the right? Hello.
And when my husband drives, he's promoting that face everywhere. And they'll pull up and they'll be like, oh.
That's not what I done. It's a surprise.
Yeah. No. I need a minute. But he's literally told me he's sometimes driving.
I'm literally crying. I need you to understand. Hold on.
There's literal tears. I'll put a picture of my car later.
I'm crying. Oh my God, this is not waterproof.
Dude, look at me.
I need you to understand. Every time we're on FaceTime, this is the majority of the
Literally.
call.
No. So yeah. So he's told me sometimes they're like, you know, like, or maybe a man or something.
They
Como
start
que
whistling.
excited to like get in the, you know, and then they're like, oh, that is not her. But you know, he's promoting me, so that's nice.
We love a supportive husband.
Oh yeah, he's so supportive. He's the best.
Well,
He's been a huge part also of me stepping out of that little shell that I got myself into. So I'm really appreciative.
Oh, we love him.
Yes, we do.
I wanted to ask you about that. You recently just got married.
Yes.
And I want to ask you, like, what is this new phase in your life like? Like, how would you talk about your experience in marriage so far?
Well, I think it's really different. And I think it's something that keeps helping me get out of that shell because now there's so many things that, like, as a married woman, you want to be good at.
Okay.
You know, you want to be unequal with your partner. And I feel like my husband, Alejandro, is someone that's, like, really out there, pursues his things, is really hardworking. No le tiene pena nada, literally. And I'm just there, like...
That's why God put him in front of you.
Yes. And he does acting, so obviously no le da pena not even being on the camera.
Yeah.
So... it's just like, you know, you want to be that person that your partner also admires.
Yeah.
And that is like excited to be with. And it's like, I'm not going to get that out of being como que escondidita.
Frozen.
Anna, frozen. So I think he's been a huge part of that change in me. And yeah, I'm a housewife. I'm, you know, I care for him. I cook for him. And it's like this whole different Nichole, but I love her. And she's so mature now. And yeah, I've been evolving the past year and it's been, you know, learning. Obviously, we lived together before we got married. So it's not that like shock of like, oh, there's a man in my house.
Like when they pull up, oh.
You know, como que ya esa parte la habíamos superado of knowing each other and our messy or our not messy or whatever. La convivencia, exactly. But I've loved being married, honestly. I had back to the fear subject. One of my many fears was commitment.
Okay.
Even if I was in relationships, when it came to the future, when my
like
family, when my family would ask me, ¿Y te vas a casar? And I'd be like, como que era como, it was like you were like pushing this button que me volvía loca. And then that change of just being open to life and being open to the future and making the best out of it. You know, when the subject came about marriage, I was like, hell yeah. You know, I was like, right on it.
Yeah. I kind of relate to that in a way because I've thought of that. Like, for me, it's like un tema of permanence. But I wonder if that comes from striving to be perfect in everything. That it's like, oh, like I need this to work, or like it has to be like not perfect. At least for me, eso ha sido un tema. Ha sido un tema of like trying to be perfect in everything that I do, or like, wow, if I'm gonna commit to this, like it has to be right for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? And it's when I started becoming more Sagittarius, that's like literally more carefree. Mm-hmm. I'm so sure you have Sagittarius somewhere. But anyways, the more I started becoming that version of myself of just letting my hair down and like just understanding the point of life is to live experiences. It's not to have a perfect life. No. It's not to have everything be this cookie cutter, I did good, because there's this whole like good girl, bad girl. I'm not saying to go be a bad person, but I'm just saying like literally the point of life is to experience it. Like all of the colors of life. Exactly. You know, like the happy, the sad, like that's when I tell people, oh, you feel sad? Embrace whatever's happening because it's there for a reason, and everything is here to like help you, and you know. But so I relate to that like fear of permanence. But when you're like, you know what, I did it, I lived life, you know, let's say God forbid it's not gonna happen, but you know what I'm saying, like if you know something doesn't work out, you can look back and say, you know what, I did it, I had the courage to take that next step.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what gives me peace.
Yeah.
Now that I'm like, I'm doing it, and if it makes me happy in this moment, that's what should matter, because I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. And so be in the moment and just enjoy whatever's happening. And I feel like that came at a random moment for me, and I just hopped on that train, and I was like, no fuimos. Literal. I was like, let's go with everything. Yeah. And here I am, and I feel happy.
And what, like, in your marriage are things that maybe you've learned along the way, maybe in communicating, or how you said, like, you stepping out of your shell? Like, how is that partnership, like, you with your husband? Are there things that you guys do to keep each other accountable, or, like, to just make sure that it continues to be in a healthy way?
So something we've started, well, before we actually got married was, I don't know what you would call it. It's like marriage, premarital counseling kind of thing. And I do feel like after you get married, you're still like in that high of like what just happened and the party and everything. But now that, you know, life is coming down a little bit, and we're focusing on our things, we don't want to let go of maybe being guided by someone more experienced. Because sometimes I feel like my communication skills from what they were before to now have changed. Oh my God, tremendously. I'm a great communicator now. Now I say maybe too much.
We love it. Say it all.
And I want to like solve problems immediately.
Okay.
Like yo soy de las que cree, which I'm sure a lot of you, that uno no se debe dormir peleado.
Yeah.
I'm one.
Yeah.
But then I'm being told, como que maybe this other person just cannot solve the issue in the moment. Like they need a moment.
I'm like that.
You need a moment?
I need it, like, because when in my relationship, when I was with Janka, let's say I was upset about something, I'm like, I would go to sleep, and he's like, I don't want us to go to bed. Like, see, there's always one. And I loved that. Like, when he said that for the first time, I was like, that's so beautiful. Like, actually someone that's like, no. Like, I love our relationship so much that I want to solve this, you know? So that person's also learning from you, too.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, from what he was at the beginning, que literally como que to try to solve it was impossible. Okay. To then sometimes el poder ceder, I don't know how to say that in English, like him being like, okay, let's try to work it out now. And being able to,
I don't want to say giving in, but just also, not giving in, but
also
trying
from something
his part
new
to like, okay, let me consider this other person.
Exactly. So he's tried. But I think when you're guided by someone, that communication just kind of like sin tratar, it just flows because they put certain subject in your minds and in your heart to really work in the relationship. And I feel like if a relationship doesn't work, is because one of the sides is giving up for whatever reason.
Okay.
Because something is, they're not willing to work.
Considering your
yeah,
side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or they're just not wanting to work on something that they really know they have to work on.
Yeah.
So us, I feel like through that counseling, we really kind of grabbed little things that we were going to need. And we were put through some tough times right at the beginning of our marriage of like just being married. And I think we wouldn't have gotten through it without these little tips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's definitely something that we want to continue doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like what we're saying now, just live the best life that you can.
Yeah. And I think like if you just show up being the best that you can, and that can mean like, let's say today I have 80% to give to the world. Beautiful. If tomorrow I wake up and I literally only have 30% of energy of whatever, in that range, like let me just show up as the best version that I can, and also show myself compassion, because I feel like sometimes, especially if you've ever had a phase of people pleasing, like we always want to be good and like, no, everything is great for everyone else, and it's the more like the older that I get, it's like, no, I need to take care of myself, because in order for me to be the best person for everyone, I need to be the best version for me. So it's like, if today I can give 50%, like just love me just today, like for the person that I am today. Yep. And I feel like in marriage, I mean, I haven't experienced that yet. But I feel like that's probably one of the biggest lessons and homeworks that you have as a couple, is just constantly being like, every day is a choice to love this person, and that we're always changing and evolving and growing, and giving that person the space to grow, so that you're both grow, because you're always going to grow, right? But like, if we can grow independently together, then I think that's like the success, like giving, you know, because
giving each other space to
they're
continue being who you are.
And knowing that there are changes, because I feel like what happens with a lot of people is that, okay, well, I married this version of you and you're not that version anymore. And it's like, well, nobody's the same version that they were even a month ago or like a year ago. Tried to be. Yeah, and I feel like that's where the conflict lies. But
I think that's super important, and I think that's something we're definitely focusing on, is each individually becoming a better person, so that we can be the best version of ourselves for ourselves and for us as a couple.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, now that you have this married life, are there things that you guys do to practice that individuality? Like,
like our spaces?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
and sorry, but maybe that's not the case now, but like at some point, like, but yeah, like having that space to be an independent, because that's really important too.
We do catch ourselves sometimes maybe slacking that area a little bit, because we are evolved like in our business as well. You work together. So we work together, but not like together. Yeah. So he'll go out on his own, and I work from home, or I'll sometimes be in the office, or whatever the case may be. But we have this thing in common, you know? So he loves to play soccer, so that's his time. Maybe gym time, it's us individually. He likes his acting stuff, so sometimes he'll do casting. That's him on his time. I continue to like explore myself and the things that I want to do. And that's where I've kind of had my time to reflect on what I want to do and what I want to be better at. And that reflection came through this time being alone, and like this time where we have space for each other. But I think or maybe I can speak on myself. I love being with him. He's probably the only person que no me estorba.
Oh, thanks.
No, and you either. No, you either. But I feel like
it's okay.
Como to be like with someone, I don't know what, like that I don't know if that sounds
like you're
bad,
both on like the same frequency.
Yeah, like the same frequency. I don't have to say much. Como que él puede estar ahí and I'm doing work on the laptop and he could be watching YouTube or whatever. And his presence is like, it's calming for me. So yeah, I think we definitely want to still work on ourselves individually. We find that important. He really finds that important for himself. He really likes that time to himself to do whatever. And I respect that.
Yeah. Y que también you guys, you know, even marriage itself has its phases, and it has like, and it's okay. Like, even let's say, you know, maybe right now you guys are very together because that's just the phase that you're in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're always going to be together, but I'm saying like there could be a phase where you guys do a lot of, I don't know, activities with another couple. You know what I'm saying? And like things like that. And then when you have kids and then meeting the parents of those kids, and you know what I'm saying? Like there are phases that it's totally okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
I love this talk.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too. I'm not kidding. We've been talking in my mind. I'm like, stop. Like, don't start laughing.
No, I know.
Please.
I'm trying to. I'm here like,
No.
be professional.
Yeah. No, we can't.
No, yo no puedo.
No.
I could try, but.
Nicky, so I wanted this podcast, this episode to be, you know, talking about friendships and mostly like girl talk.
Yes.
Right? What advice do you have for any young girl that's watching this, that it could be, you know, how we were talking about music for a little bit, like with their passions, or it could be about friendships or love, like,
Yeah.
what advice would you like to give any young
God,
girl?
that's so.
Or the younger you, like younger Nicky?
No, I think I would, because that's funny. I actually, to not get off topic, I taught music for a long time, and I worked with a lot of like teenage girls, and seeing them now grow older, and we like follow each other on Instagram, and they'll still like hit me up, and I would just be like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I do recall, even like in midst of my own fears and my own, come on, that's not what I wanted to portray to them. And that's not what I wanted to like plant in their minds. So I think I would first say, become a Sagittarius.
You have somewhere.
You have to become a Sagittarius then. Based on what
If you don't have Sagittarius, start becoming one.
Based on what she's saying, if Sagittarius means...
You making fun of me?
No.
It's okay.
Pero usarlo como referencia.
Yeah.
If Sagittarius means become more careless and more carefree in a responsible way, you know? Como que don't go breaking people's hearts, because that's like another topic when you get a little wild. You really don't care too much for other people as much as you should. Yeah. But I think, I would say believe in yourselves. Be confident even if you don't feel it. I think that's the beauty in the affirmation subject, where you can almost like fool it to yourself until it becomes like, as you're in the process of telling yourself, whether it's something in your appearance, whether it's something with your job, whatever it is. I think for me, my biggest thing, I don't know in what channel each person can relate to, but for me, really working on my spiritual side and getting closer to that instead of like heading to the other direction has been life-changing for me and for my happiness.
Yeah.
So I think you have to find something that, I don't know, grounds you or works on your, I don't even know what you would call it, but like your spiritual being. I think everyone has different things or ways that they work on that, but I think that is life-changing. And I think, I would say just be more careless. Be more happy.
Yes, we need happiness.
Don't dwell on the past. Don't dwell on little things that at the end of the day are not going to be around.
Yeah. And that's something that we've talked on this podcast before, has been, you know, with my other guests, I've mentioned like we forget to have fun. We take life way too seriously.
Way too seriously.
And what relating to what you were saying, I totally agree. Like, because that's where I feel my biggest breakthrough has been, from like that little girl that really cared too much about everyone else. And not just that, but at an age where you're transitioning from being the kid to now I'm an adult, is like the moment that I just not stopped caring, because you never stop caring. But what I'm trying to say with what you were saying is, if you were to focus your energy, your thoughts more on how do I feel, and building a relationship with you, which is that spiritual part, versus what does he think about me? You know, because when you're younger, también your head is like, oh, and crushes and appearance and do they like me? Do whatever. But the moment that you focus more on how you feel about you and how someone makes you feel and trusting that, I definitely think that that's like the biggest superpower because it's our intuition.
And exactly.
Yeah.
The intuition grows.
Yeah.
When you listen.
When you start
listening, you're like.
And you don't listen, and then you feel anxious and you feel uncomfortable, and your body's literally telling you this is not right. Yes. But we want to be stubborn. And
we want to be stubborn.
So,
but I think you're right. Just enjoy life more.
Mm-hmm. And for me, which I've mentioned before, it's like, no, literally, I have to be intentional about like, I have to do that. Sometimes I'm at home and I'm like, Gabby, we're not going to study this. We're not going to worry about this. I'm going to put on Netflix and just watch a whatever show.
Oh my God, I love that you said that.
Yeah.
I think that's so important.
I have to tell myself, no, we're going to do something fun today.
Yeah. Whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Each person enjoys their time as they please. And that's something that people should
respect. Yeah.
Which I feel like that's not always the case.
Yeah. But it's doing what feels right to you.
Correct.
Yay. Well, I'm so happy about this episode. I can't wait to look back on it when I'm editing because I'm going to be cracking up when I was like in tears. Thank you, Nicky, for spending this time with us and for sharing more of your world with everyone on Relatable. I love you.
I love you so much. And I'm so happy you have this space to share the way that you are for other people to enjoy.
Thank you.
I hope you do a lot of amazing things.
Likewise.
Thank you.
I hope to see you defrost.
Yes. I'm defrosting,
which
girl.
You're in the process of thawing.
I'm thawing, yes.
Thawing. Oh my God, never mind. I was going to say another joke. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in our next episode. Yeah. Bye. By the way, I'm going to put your socials and everything on the description so you can find Nicky. She's going to be releasing music because I'm going to be pressuring.
Put that out there, yes.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. See you in the next episode. Bye.